What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Daily Dose with Dylan Davis. As always, I am your host, Dylan, and we are streaming to you guys live through the Painted Lines Network on their Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube account. So if you are new to the channel, please give the Painted Lines a follow or subscription on their Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube accounts, and please like this video. You guys are welcome to comment as much as you guys want throughout the course of the show. Join the conversation with us. Ask us any questions revolving around your teams in Philadelphia. And on today's show, I am joined by my guy, Mark Henry. You can give him a follow on Twitter at Mark Henry Jr. _. He's the host of the Tough Cover podcast. And my man, Matt McGinty, will be joining us very shortly once he gets home and gets ready. Let's see. First comment. Claudia said, can't let Warriors linger, but geez, Steph was a cheat code. Yeah, man. Look, we're definitely going to get into that game in a second here, but what can you say, dude? Like it's the caption of this video. It's the title of this video. Sixers fall to the greatest shooter ever. There's no argument. No one can ever tell me otherwise that Stephen Curry is not the greatest shooter of all time. But yeah, I did make a joke yesterday. Here he is. He's not. Where did he go? Look at this guy.
Empty chair.
Yeah, welcome.
That chair's got just as many good takes as Matt McGinty has.
Yeah, we're live, Gint. So join us whenever you want to, bud.
I'm here.
But I did make a joke on yesterday's show that, one of the keys to the game is holding Steph to under 55. Well, I should have said hold him under 49 because apparently that was too much as well. He shot 10 of 17 from three. And I just think, I guess let's just dive right into that game, guys, as the Sixers fall to the Golden State Warriors 107-96. They still have, what is it now, a game lead over the Brooklyn Nets instead of that game and a half that they previously had. And that is the reason why. One person, one man, Stephen Curry, dropped 49 on 10 of 17 from three. And I guess all I can say is you guys see how pretty important Ben Simmons is? Like at all? Just a little bit? And I know a lot of people were talking about, Tiago was talking about it on the post-game show, and he's been all over Twitter today about it in our Discord about Joel playing too far off and they're not hedging the screens and Steph's just coming around and pulling up from deep. It's kind of what happened. It happened like 4 straight threes in the fourth quarter last night. Ben would have been able to disrupt that a little bit. And then my other main takeaway last night, guys, is this. This team can only win a championship at full strength. And me and Ginn have tried to explain that. Like when people want to put down Ben Simmons or they want to talk about Tobias Harris, no, it only works if they're at full strength. They had Joel Embiid last night. Don't get me wrong. He struggled. They never really got him into a rhythm. I don't know if you guys felt the same. Like they didn't establish him really early. Golden State was throwing a lot of double teams at him. He wasn't dominating on the low block, even though we got Draymond in the foul trouble. But, like, it only works if Ben's healthy. It obviously only works if Joel's healthy. And pretty sure they missed Toby offensively down the stretch last night, huh, boys? Joel was trying to do everything on his own late in the game. He didn't shoot well. I think he was like 2 for 9, 2 for 8 in the fourth quarter late down the stretch last night. He was tired. He didn't have it. That's where Tobias Harris comes in late in games, guys, offensively. So they clearly missed him. They clearly missed Ben defensively last night. They also missed Ben setting up their offense. Look, I think we learned last night, as great as he was in the first half, shooting-wise, Seth Curry is not a facilitator or a guy you want running and setting up your offense in the half court. Seth also went off in the first half against his older brother, and I don't think he scored in the second half. Or maybe he scored 1 bucket in the second half, but that was another issue. So, Gint, we missed you yesterday, bud. How are you? How's work?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Been busy last couple of days. Yeah. Rushed to get here on time. I didn't even make it on time, I should say.
Yeah, slacking, man. So what did you see last night from last night's game? And just, some reasons as to why the Sixers were unable to gather another win in probably the most winnable game over the next 4?
In a sense, when you're missing 2 of your 3 best players.
Sure, yeah.
Always going to be winnable. I mean, that was in striking distance, don't get me wrong, but I think you alluded to it yesterday. If you go into a tight game in the fourth quarter against Steph Curry, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, that dude is literally a flamethrower right now. He can't miss. He's playing unbelievable. He's playing at an MVP level. He's playing at a top 5 player in the world level. We could sit here and talk about Steph all day, but what you mentioned was right. The pick and roll defense gave me a lot of Brett Brown vibes. Just big, pray that a guard can get around it. And when you don't have a 6'10" guy guarding and giving ball pressure onto the guard, things look a lot different, especially when he's a world-class defender like Ben Simmons. But I mean, I don't really know how to word this.
Sound it out.
Like, Embiid didn't look bad last night, like you said.
No, but he definitely struggled.
He looked like he was out of rhythm, which he hasn't looked like that all year. He still finished 28, 13, and 8. But
yeah, he almost had a triple-double.
Like, the way I look at it, like, I hope these small ball lineups like aren't games where he's always going to look out of sync.
Okay.
I mean, like, to me, last night, if you're Brooklyn, maybe you take a page out of that book. You check him on a different night, you take a page out of that book, and you just try to throw all these different things at him where he's shown he's been out of rhythm. But like I said, that's a really small sample size this year. He hasn't looked out of rhythm in probably more than 3 games this year. So I don't know if we gave them some ideas last night. Draymond Green's also a world-class defender, whether people like him or not, he is. So I don't see like Jeff Green or Kevin Durant giving the same kind of vibes that Draymond Green gave. But to me, I just hope like to end this season, we give Brooklyn as little ammo as possible going into a playoff series.
Sure. Mark, what did you see from last night's matchup versus Steph? Like I said, I'm not even going to say against the Warriors versus Steph.
Yeah, I mean, before I get to all my I don't have that many takeaways really. Like it's kind of just what everything you guys said. First of all, real quick, since the game started 1 minute ago, everyone go bet Dodgers -1.5. It's my best bet. But anyway, also happy holidays to everybody. But also getting to the game from last night, Joel Embiid lost his 9th game of the year. Which just like take a step back and think about that. Joel Embiid's 30-9. Nikola Jokic, on the other hand, is 36-21. So, he's played about 20 more games and he's won 6 more. So, but it's just, we like you guys said, we were missing Ben Simmons, we were missing Tobias Harris. Those are our two of our 3 best players, and Steph Curry had his best possible game. I know Tiago is really going ham on the Joel Embiid PNR stuff. Most of it was in the last 5 minutes of the game, in a game that he played how many minutes? Like how many?
Sure. So fatigue factors in.
I don't think that Joel Embiid's pick and roll defense is a problem that I'm even 1% worried about going forward. Okay. Ben Simmons wasn't in the game. Shake Milton played terrible. George Hill looked really out of rhythm. Those two guys are two guys that are going to be important against pick and roll defense, especially playing as many minutes as they played. So when you look as bad as George did, as bad as Shake did, honestly, Matisse, I was surprised he had 13 points. When I watched the game, it didn't feel like that. But when you look at the box score, I thought Matisse, it looked like he had a better game than he actually had. I thought Matisse was really bad last night, like defensively. And that's not something I say often. I'm a big Matisse guy. I thought he took way too many chances, and I thought it allowed for way too many backdoor cuts. And I thought that I pulled up what he did last night. I think at the end of the game, he had the worst plus-minus in the entire game. He was a -17. No one else on the team was Shake was -15, and George was -13. And those guys are playing terrible. But and you look at the starters, they were pretty close to positive or positive in Furkan and Mike Scott's case. So obviously plus-minus isn't end-all be-all. But when you look at Matisse Thybulle, who scored 13 points, and he's still a -17, when you think of Matisse and when you think the fact that he's going to provide you 13 points on offense, you're like, oh my God, he's going to be the most valuable player in the game because of how good he is defensively. And last night, that just wasn't the case. I thought he was out of rhythm defensively and trying to do too much.
That is it's a great take, but it's very like, I guess, eye-opening because watching it, like he had a couple deflections. Like he had that, he tipped it across half court, got after it, windmill, like made Joel have a new gif. And he had one block and then jumped up, steal, go the other way with it. So that is weird. I was just looking at the plus minuses as you said that, and then I see +11 for Mr. Mike Scott, who I guess the braids are gone and the fro is here.
I'm out on the hive.
Yo,
the fro's
again. Look, man,
I was in on the braids.
I know you're not an Anthony Tolliver guy. It's not like I'm an Anthony Tolliver guy either. He can't give you anything more, dude. 14 minutes with goose eggs across the board for Mike Scott. What does he give you?
No, he had a foul. He had a foul.
No, yeah, he had a foul. And he was 0 for 1 from the field on a layup. What does he give you, dude?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. Anthony Tolliver clearly is unplayable.
I guess. Unless Doc's going to go back and forth. Like, Mike plays a lot. Mike plays more this game. Tolliver. And then last night,
which he hasn't had a lot of practice time. So, I guess I shouldn't say that. Maybe he's still not acclimated.
But isn't it only a 10-day contract?
I thought so. Yeah, I thought so.
Like we're slim on time here, Doc.
I don't. So that's my thing with the Anthony Tolliver thing. I don't think he's going to see time. That's why I said to you guys the night we got him. I said, you guys think all of a sudden Mike Scott's just not going to play because Anthony Tolliver.
I got to tell you what.
I just don't think we know yet.
No, yeah, and we really could not know. That's why on a 10-day contract, Dylan said, like, well, when's he going to play? It's 10 days. Like, you don't have a ton of time.
I guess it was more so hope that Mike Scott was out of rotation. Look, we don't know that he is playable, but you can't say Tolliver isn't unplayable. What? How do you know Anthony Tolliver isn't unplayable?
Yeah, I don't think you can know he's unplayable or playable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but I do agree here with you. I don't care if it. He's awful. And guys, did you see Joel Tiago Joel just like
Bro.
There was one play where
Mike was wide open. They doubled Joel, and he just shoots an off-angle bank shot from about 18 feet, and it went in somehow. But dude, Mike Scott was wide open. It was hilarious.
I can't, dude. I can't take it much longer.
I think my burner is in the comments on here. I think I'm leaving comments. Those are like my two favorite players. So I don't know who that guy is. I'm awake. Are you? I don't know who that is, but I'm all in on your two guys there.
All right.
In an unrelated note.
Wait, can I throw something out there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we should be proud of Sixers Twitter, truthfully, and I don't say that often.
It didn't explode last night.
I'm not 100% positive, but I didn't see a lot of George Hill hate. I thought 2 points in his first game would have been like, oh my God, who did we pick up? We missed out on Kyle Lowry for this guy. And
I will say, so the George Hill thing, that's what I wanted to get to next. And, Mark mentioned it to me pre-show, and I agree. Like, he didn't look great. He looked out of rhythm. He looked rusty, first of all, because he hasn't played since like January or whatever. I just think he is smart. It also wasn't a great debut because Steph shook him at the end of the fourth quarter and buried one like 80 feet away. So, but what I will say is, I think seeing him play off the ball last night, Shake kept the point guard duties last night. George Hill was off the ball in the corner a lot, coming around. I just think that shows you that he's just not acclimated to the offense yet. Everyone knew that, but I'm just like you say, and I'm glad no one was like, what? Why is he not running the point? I thought that's what we brought him here for. He only had 2 points. Oh my God. So I will tip my cap to Sixers Twitter as well. Outside of that, Shake Milton looked awful, dude. Awful. And I guess, look, it's only one game and Shake has played a lot better since when we were questioning him a couple weeks ago again. But was this a game to you where like it backs up our point a little bit more? Like, why, like, for the people that just back Shake no matter what, like, I feel like they just trust him blindly. Like, in it, like, do you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to like phrase this like,
I do.
Like, I get like to think that this won't happen in a playoff game or in an important playoff game. I think it could. Like, he could have these types of struggles in a playoff game, and people just like trust him. Like, no, we got Shake, we're good, or like, no, we can't trade, like whatever. Like, he's untouchable and all this. Like, that's why George Hill's here, man.
Well, I think it's just that I'm not at all saying that can't happen in a playoff game. It's just as likely to happen, in my opinion, as the 27-point game he had 2 weeks ago too. I think both are just as likely to happen, right. And that's why when Shake's on and when Shake's good and when Shake's getting to the rim at will, we don't have that elsewhere on this team. Right. When he's on, he brings something that we just don't have elsewhere. Even with George Hill, he's just a different type of player, and his ability to get to the line and the rim when he's on is so valuable. But obviously, when he's off, he's basically unplayable. he really hurts you when he's not playing well and he becomes invisible and he gets in his own head, making mental mistakes on defense and on offense, and it gets ugly.
Right here. This is what I notice every time, and it pisses me off, man. Shake's posture and body language are so negative. He didn't even look like he was fighting for his minutes. Like, he's not going to fight for his minutes. Like, I know some people are going like George Hill or Shake Milton. They're both going to play. They can play together off the bench. That's not the point. But he is like, when he's off, dude. Like last night, he tried to dribble drive and penetrate the lane, and the ball went off his knee and out of bounds. And he just kind of like shrugged his shoulders and jogged down the court. And he's got that like puppy dog, like sad look on his face. And I'm like, dude, can you wake up? Like, you're a detriment to this team at the moment. Like, we're trying to win a ball game, and every offensive possession at this point matters. That's when it was like back and forth. George Hill is not in his head. Oh my God.
Yeah. Joel needs to tell him he's going to slap the shit out of him again.
Yeah.
Bro. Dude, Shake, like, it was funny because you brought up like how some people just defend him to the core, and there's no way. Dude, I had a buddy text me last night. He said, we just need a playoff series for Shake to unlock. And I was like,
I have no idea what that even means.
I was like, what Shake are we unlocking here? And like, where, like, what, October?
The 39-point Clipper Shake, like that's not going to happen, man. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Another thing I wanted to throw at you guys, and I think someone actually brought it up. Bro, Maxey looked pretty good last night.
Yeah.
I mean, and you get thrown in the fire, which I don't know the time of him on the court at the same time as Steph Curry, but dude, like, I think it's a testament to him because I mean he's on and off. Like those one and done guys that go like later in the draft, they end up being on a good team. Like sometimes that can get like to be a toxic environment. They say like they never sat the bench in their life. Like think about it, those guys literally probably have started every single game of their basketball life, and then all of a sudden you go to a contender and you're not playing every night. And so, I mean, dude, props to Maxey for like just being ready, playing in games that he's played, and it could have got really bad. Which I mean, behind closed doors, very well could be, but who knows?
So, one person I do have to give him a shout out, but it's not like a great shout out. We have a viewer, Dale. He hasn't commented in a while, but I had to unfollow Dale on Twitter a while back because Dale was Sixers Twitter that you were alluding to, Gint, where like. Last night, I really, after the show, I might go and check his tweets from last night because he is like, the world is burning and crashing down on top of him without Ben Simmons on the floor, without Joel Embiid on the floor, without like Tobias Harris on the floor at times. Like, if the Sixers lose a game, we suck. Like, we're awful, right? So, just wait until you see T-Max next season. Oh, my. All right. Yeah. Get a little ahead of ourselves. But what was I getting at there? Gint, help me out.
I was talking about
Dale.
Maxey. I have no clue where
Dale. There he is. There he is. Dale. So anyway, he was Mr. Like, if the Sixers won a game against a bad team, it was we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals, we're going to the NBA Finals, and then 2 nights later, without Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid playing, like during COVID, he was like literally freaking out, like saying we suck, we'll get swept by Brooklyn, like all this stuff. So I do want to give a shout out to all our commenters and viewers right now for not giving me more gray hair this afternoon and thinking the world's burning down, because just to wrap up this matchup last night, there he is. Yeah, Dale. Oh, you just got your follow back, Dale. Just don't give me any more gray hair after losses, please.
You want me to pour some gas on the fire?
What?
Because I mean I've said it time and time again. I think the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference is winning the Eastern Conference and going to the NBA Finals. So last night is not a loss that worries me from the standpoint of anything that happened on the basketball floor. It's just a loss that makes it 1 game closer to not getting that 1 seed, and that worries me. I mean, I can't lie. It's like that's basically my. Oh, I just assaulted my microphone.
We're fired up here on the Daily.
Yeah, that's basically my entire worry. Like, we cannot get the 2 seed. We cannot have to deal with Milwaukee in the 3rd round or in the 2nd round. More importantly than not having to deal with Milwaukee, we need to force Brooklyn to deal with Milwaukee. And I just that loss is really worrisome. That's a loss if you win that game and you go up 2 games, That's a pretty strong lead with the amount of games that are
it's
left.
essentially 3 games too, because they have to finish with a better record than us.
Exactly.
And like to also throw your point, especially a game that was clearly in striking distance. You know what I mean? Like if Steph would have blown us out of the water in the first quarter, they're up 20, and Embiid gets to sit the rest of the night. Like that's a different story. Like this dude had to log minutes in a loss. So I mean that's all. But another one I wanted to throw at you guys was you know who would have helped last night?
What, dude?
Jabari Parker, man.
Huh.
He has looked good in Boston.
Are you trolling or like I have no idea if he has
the last 2 games he's averaging like 10 points a game, but it's nothing like outstanding. It's just a little bit more than Anthony Tolliver's averaging.
It's just a little bit.
They did lose to Chicago though.
Yeah.
Wait, Boston lost to Chicago?
Yeah.
I didn't even check on that game. Wow.
Yeah.
Vucevic had 30.
What did we say when we were talking about that dumbass play-in tournament? And we were talking about if Boston gets stuck at that 7 seed and Chicago's fighting for that 10 seed, that's not a matchup Boston wants, dude. Like I'm telling you, Vucevic will literally drop 35 on them as he dropped 30 last night, as you said. Are we still able to sign anyone?
I don't think so. I thought there was a deadline. I thought.
Yeah, I have no idea. For them to be eligible for the playoffs.
I just think they had to be dropped by then.
They had to be dropped by then, yeah. But again, with 15 games left or so, I don't see us picking up anyone that's going to play at this point in time. But that is a great point, Mark. What, Ken?
Dude, I was laughing at a comment earlier because someone said, and it wasn't a bad comment, it was just like, yeah, Matisse, dude, he's such a young defender, so like we need to just pump the brakes. He's allowed to do this. It's like, could you imagine if Ben Simmons had a game that he had last night and they're literally the same exact age?
It is wild, dude, and people don't realize that at all. And I've tried to mention that, and he's like the same age as Shake Milton as well. Like,
yeah, I know, but it's like obviously he's been in the league longer. But I just thought when he was like, "Oh, dude, he's just a 24-year-old kid."
No,
man.
but you know what it is. It's the fact that Ben's a max contract player and the other two are not, and he gets paid this money and he needs to be performing at this level.
It's also that Ben Simmons stepped onto an NBA team and immediately started winning 50 games.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons didn't have this whole rookie process that everyone's freaking out about Anthony Edwards. He dunks really cool, shooting the ball about 37% on the worst team in the league with another all NBA player on his team. But yeah, Anthony Edwards is the best. He's amazing. But it's just people want scoring, and that's all they want to see. They just want to see it pop up in the box score, and they want to see those
timeout. I don't want to be that guy. Did you see the ESPN statistic last night of games in a row with 30-plus points?
Yeah, 11, right?
That was Steph. Yeah. Did you see the list?
Yeah, Harden had 26 or something, right?
Over 30, bro. I think it was 36. Is that a joke in 2018, 2019?
You know what's a bigger joke?
What?
That Anthony Edwards claimed he played baseball his whole life and then didn't know who Alex Rodriguez was as their own.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. This dude is my least favorite player in the league already. Like, I hate this dude. Like full-fledged, I hated him in the draft process. He was, like, talking about how he hated basketball. He was, like, by the way, he hasn't played an ounce of competitive basketball since his senior year of high school. Yeah. Georgia was below 500 with him. And now he's on the worst team in the league. Something's wrong there. Like, something's going on.
Yeah, how about the other rookie of the year that's coming back? Your boy.
Yeah, he's GOAT.
I have a bet on him to win ROI.
I wonder if he'll play enough. I don't know.
But what if we match up with your boy?
How can you not like Edwards? Oh, there's a lot of ways.
Well, he shoots about 37%, and people act like he's the best scorer that I've ever seen. He's on the worst team in the league. They have D'Angelo Russell. They have Carl Towns. They have
Jahlil Okafor rookie year. Bro, he said he did that interview with Rachel Nichols. She was like, "Oh, you play a lot of sports?" He was like, "Yeah, I was the best at every sport." She was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "I hit home runs."
Yeah, he seems like a joy to hang out with. He seems like a really good guy.
I throw strikes. I was like, okay.
He's really humble. He seems like a really humble guy. He really knows his place in the league. They're what, 14 and 40 or what are they now? Yeah, no, he's just unbelievable. I honestly, I heard Brock on your guys' show talking about how great he was, and I I really, really don't get the Anthony Edwards obsession. And it's been since he was the number one player coming out of high school, and he hasn't won a game since, basically. He's been under 500 since Georgia was better without him this year. Like, Georgia was just better once he left. I can't stand Anthony Edwards.
Wait, he's shooting 37 or 38% from the field?
I think it might be up. Oh, it's from the field, yeah, but it might be like 39 now.
That's preposterous.
Yeah, he's at 39 now, which is 39.
Oh my God.
Also, he's been like a terrible defender and provides nothing but scoring. So, and he provides scoring really inefficiently.
They didn't pick James Wiseman or LaMelo Ball for D'Angelo Russell, and I mean, Cat's worth it, but D'Angelo Russell.
All right, so to wrap up last night's Warriors,
I just went that way, dude.
What are you gonna say? I'm proud of each and every one of you for not thinking that the damn sky is falling or the world's burning down again, because you lost to the best shooter of all time. He was hit 10 threes for 49 points, and you didn't have two of your three best players, who clearly they missed last night. So how about we appreciate them a little bit more when they're on the floor? It's okay to still criticize when they don't play well, but let's appreciate them a little bit more, because we saw what happened down the stretch without Toby offensively, and we saw what Steph did without Ben Simmons defensively or setting up the half-court offense. Because, mind you, the Sixers did only score 96 points, guys. So they scored under 100. So clearly the half-court offense wasn't that good last night.
Where's Steph in your guys' MVP rankings?
To me, he's top 3 or 4. I said that, dude. I said that to you. What?
Would you put him over Dame?
1,000%.
I don't know.
1,000%.
I just think the fact that they're not in the picture, they're in the picture because there's 10 seeds, but like Dame's team's pretty good.
Yeah, well, to be fair with the whole Dame's team's pretty good thing, CJ McCollum missed half the year and Yusuf Nurkic missed half the year.
Dame kept them. Dame was winning without. They had like you said, they had like 3 or 4 dudes out the entire year.
Well, Yusuf Nurkic was missing time? No way.
But like my point is, like, he's definitely Dame's in the top 5 and like in the good.
Timeout. Another thing about Portland that I just want to say because it's really funny, and I'm sure both of you guys are absolutely going to kill me about it. People are acting like Robert Covington's having a terrible year. He has the best plus minus on the Portland Trailblazers. I'm not even joking about that. And you know who has the worst plus minus? Matt McGinty's boy, Mr. Calculators, Carmelo Anthony, who everyone's bragging about. Everyone's bragging about how amazing he is. By the way, every time he comes on the floor, they're 9 points worse. And every time Robert Covington comes on the floor, they're 9 points better.
And he's single-handedly won them like 5 games.
Oh, he's great in the clutch. He just shouldn't play the first 43 minutes.
So here's the thing. Here's my issue. Like, this is, again, going off topic a little bit, but we're right. Well, the Sixers topic is done. They lost the best shooter ever. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get into the Phillies in a few minutes. But the thing about the MVP conversation, because we have one of the candidates on our team, we talked about the other big man center that's in the competition as well for MVP this year, Jokic, yesterday. But talking about these 2 point guards and Dame and Steph getting, like, just the reason I say absolutely. And I see Abe's comment, Dame been hooping without his top players. He kept the 4 seed by himself. Yeah, they were in that range, but now here's my issue. They were in the 5 seed when Bron went down and AD was already down. Dame got his guys back. The Lakers are 2 games ahead of Portland in the seeding. Portland's the 6 seed. They're 10 games out of first. The Lakers are the 5 seed. They're 8 games out of first. Okay? So he got CJ, he got Nurk, he got all those dudes back, and they couldn't stay ahead or pass the Lakers. They were actually a game when me and Scotty did his NBA talk. Scotty Talks NBA Mondays a couple weeks ago. It was right when LeBron went down, and we looked at the Western Conference, and it was like, who could propel themselves up, and how much are the Lakers going to fall? Right? Not that the Lakers don't have a nice supporting cast next to AD and LeBron, but they were without AD and they were struggling even with Bron. Bron goes down. Portland's only a game and a half behind them. Bron was going to miss a month or 3 weeks. He still hasn't returned. And now they're 2 games below. And Steph, look, I know but he's got an god-awful. Can you talk about whoever constructed that Golden State roster should be fired immediately? They're 500.
They should be thrown in jail. They should be thrown in jail. No.
They're going to be in the play-in tournament, in my opinion. And look at the numbers the dude's putting up with that roster. So I'm sorry. Dame has been out of his mind. he is not ahead of Steph in the MVP voting. And I said that to you weeks ago. Getting like outside of Jokic, when Embiid went down, I said Jokic because I just thought that was the case, and it is. But then I said Steph, like even though Golden State was like 3 games under 500 at the time, I'm like, dude, he's balling, and they have no one. And if he makes the playoffs, even if they were the 7 or 8 seed, he should be in the conversation.
I think the one thing I'll say about Portland falling back a little, he has missed like 3 games in a row now, Dame. But besides that, if you look at who they've lost to, it's really not like anything egregious. Like they're just losing to the best teams in the league. Kind of, they've lost to without Dame, they lost to Boston and Charlotte. But before that, they had lost to Miami, Utah, the Clippers, and the Bucks. So it's like they just had a really tough schedule, had a couple back-to-backs. And Steph Curry's missed more time than Dame too, so that's just a couple reasons. I think Dame's had a better year.
I get what you're saying; it's fair, but if you're the MVP, you should be able to win a game here and there against the better teams of the league. And Steph just beat. I know they were without Toby and Ben and everything. I get that, but Steph just beat the other MVP candidate and number 1 seed Sixers last night with that roster. So I understand what you're saying. I just, in my opinion, it's not close. What do you think, Ian? Since you asked, you posed the question.
I don't really think it's close. I am on the board with Steph. I said from like the first week of the NBA season, if Steph was able to wheel this roster to a playoff spot, he should automatically default league at MVP. But that was before Joel Embiid became Thanos and
Gabe said,
"Player of basketball."
I don't care who the 2, 3, 4th is in MVP voting, MVP'd or bust. Let's see. Miss Ben getting the ball in deep to Joe where he wants it. That's a great point.
I have a conversation that I wanted to kick to you guys about Steph Curry because we talked about it in the Discord the other day just briefly. Someone said, I think it was Dives. He said, "Is Steph Curry in consideration for top 10 all time?" And this is just I did a podcast last year on the Duck Cover podcast. It used to be about more than just gambling. But we did our top 40s post ABA merger. And at the time, I had Steph Curry 11th of all time. And my 2 co-hosts had him 10th and 12th. So I just wanted to read a couple names around Steph Curry and see if you would place him above those guys of all time. Is that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So wait, place them above Steph or Steph above them?
Well, say, I guess, stop me if we get to a point where you think Steph's better than a guy I named.
Okay.
So I'll do my list. LeBron, not better than LeBron. MJ, he's not better than MJ. Well, you can disagree with the order, Matt. I see you smiling down there.
Yeah.
LeBron, MJ, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I think that they're all pretty safely ahead of Steph still at this point. Hakeem Olajuwon. Would you say Hakeem still? I would too. Julius Erving. No? Matt's saying no.
Doctor again.
It's close.
I love basketball. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I've logged hours of Dr. J tape and to know so to me, like Steph changed an era of basketball, which I think a lot of people give a lot of votes to in terms of greatest players and ranking and stuff. I mean, this is definitely I would love to dive into this another time and do like a whole like you did with Victor and Pat, but. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I put him above a lot of people. It's almost like the Allen Iverson effect. It's not the same type of effect, but it's like that effect in terms of guys that are 6'3" can be one of the best players on the planet, and it doesn't have to be a 6'8", 270 guy that can run people over and dunk the ball every single possession to be the best player on the planet. So, yeah, I would probably put Steph right at that spot. But I'm also a huge Steph Curry guy. I always have been.
Yeah.
So I had Doc 10, and I had Steph Curry 11. So I'm willing to say that I think at this point I would bump Steph Curry 1 spot above Doc and probably put him at 10 right behind Hakeem.
Don't say that too loud. Don't let your dad hear that.
Yeah, I know. But just so you guys know, Doc's accolades a little bit. He's a 1-time NBA champ, a 2-time ABA champ, 7-time All-NBA, 5-time All-ABA, 4-time MVP, and he had a 12-year peak of 25 points, 9 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. I didn't realize just how good Doc was until last year when I went through it. And then Steph, obviously 3-time NBA champ, 2-time MVP, 6-time All-NBA, best shooter ever. Someone said no will, ? It's post-ABA merger. So it's really 1974, 75 on. For guys like Kareem, who played before that point. He still played a majority of his career after, so I still considered them. But Bill Russell and Wilt were both retired, and they were playing against guys who had to have second jobs, working bartender jobs. But Steph Curry, the guys I had after Steph Curry, if you want to say any of these guys are better, Moses, Kobe, David Robinson, Kevin Garnett.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant for me. Absolutely. Yeah. Not top 10.
Yeah, it's not really even a close one for me, Steph Curry or Kobe Bryant. But I won't get too far into that. I don't want to disrespect people. I know how important he is to people. Yeah, I know how important he is to people. So I don't want to disrespect.
I agree with Gimp, but it is just, hold on real quick. It is just interesting. Like when you think about the ranking for Steph, having him like behind X amount of guys, right? But like what matters when we think of all of the all-time greats? Championships. And like when you think of like being the best at something, he's got the rings and he's the greatest shooter ever. And to think he's still like borderline top 10 is kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't put him above the first 7 at all. And then the dream in him, I don't know.
For reference, me, Pat, and Victor all had Steph Curry above Kobe Bryant. And we had Kobe Bryant 10, 12, and 13. So I had him the lowest, but I'm just trying to say I wasn't like outright absurd. I didn't put him 20th or something. I didn't put Paul Pierce on the list out of pure disrespect.
Yeah,
I despise him. So he didn't make the list, and he probably deserved to. But Kobe,
one person had Chris Bosh on their list too.
I was just that was Victor. Victor had Bosh. Yeah. I had Pau Gasol over Bosh as number 40, I think. But by the way, someone asked if KD was on that list. I had KD number 7 all time. So I had Magic. I had KD right between Magic and Larry. I just thought that'd be an interesting conversation. I'm sure we could do something.
No, it is, and I agree with Ginn. I would love to do something going forward where like not like just over. We'll wrap it up overall, but if we could go like top 10 position or top 8 or however you want to do it, point, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, centers of all time, and then wrap it up with the all-time list. We'll have to plan that out for you guys, but that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be some summer stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So keep an eye out for that. Good idea, Mark. That's why you contribute here on the Daily Dose. Pull your weight, unlike someone below us who shows up late half the time.
With an empty chair down there. You're on mute. You're on mute, Git.
That was blasphemous, that statement.
Chill out, Stephen A.
That's a 9, 10, 11, 12.
All right, boys. Well, we're 38 minutes in. I got nothing else on the Sixers-Warriors from last night. Tomorrow night, we'll get into Sixers-Suns because that is going to be one hell of a matchup. And the scary part about dropping that game, while I agree, that's why Mark's point is a great point that he brought up earlier with the fact that nothing came off the screen at me like where I was disappointed in the loss, but the loss does hurt standing wise. And then when you look at the upcoming schedule of Phoenix, Milwaukee twice, Atlanta, like you're not that it's going to happen, especially if Ben and Toby come back, but there is a chance the Sixers could drop 2 of the next 3 after losing to Golden State, or you know what I mean? Like they could split with Milwaukee and lose to Phoenix tomorrow night. It's definitely possible. And that's why, again, what did I say after the Brooklyn win? And I think Mark was on the show too. Getting tiebreaker was huge. But guys, we were only 1 game up with like 18 left to play. And it just seemed like this fan base like thought like, oh, we got the 1 seed. No. You still got a lot of time left to get through here with only a 1 game advantage. Not that the tiebreaker wasn't huge, it is, but the Sixers still have to pull their weight and control their own destiny going forward. So we'll get into that game tomorrow night and take it 1 game at a time. I miss Marquise on here again. Want to know is always the goal. No, go ahead. I just had to get Marquise out.
I will just say, go Pelicans tonight.
Very true. KD's not playing,
bring that up, dude. Brooklyn could very well lose the game tonight. They're missing Durant, Harden, Nick Claxton isn't playing. So there's definitely some guys out. They very well could lose tonight, which would be huge.
We all know the most important guy there is Nick Claxton.
Yeah, for sure.
The Pelicans are favored in that game. That's just, I might as well give it out. Last night I picked Pelicans minus 110 because it was even at a pick'em last night. It has since moved to Pelicans minus 3. It even got to 3.5 at one point. So the Pelicans are still expected to win the game tonight over the Nets, which would be huge for us.
Hopefully Stan Van Gundy can screw it in a little bit.
I had the Knicks in that game the other day. Can you believe Lonzo Ball helped off that three? What are you doing? Up 3 points.
But guys, we do have to transition here because Abe says so. Do we have to talk about the Phillies? Abe, I know we love our NBA and Sixers chat, but we do have to get into the fight-ins because they are on every day and they are important to this city. But before we get there, guys, please stay tuned with us. Keep commenting, but we have a message from our sponsors before we get into some Phillies talk.
Hey, what's up, guys? MLB baseball is in full swing. The NBA and NHL playoffs are right around the corner, and the NFL season is mere moments away. While we here at the Painted Lines are devoted to bringing you top-notch content from all the major sports, we are excited to also now give you the opportunity to cash in on all that content and knowledge. If you follow the link below, you will have the opportunity to sign up with BetRivers, an online sportsbook, and get an instant new user deposit match of up to $250. That's free money that you can use and try to turn into more free money. Let's go. Don't sit there and waste all that money. Turn every basket into an otherwise meaningless Cavs-Timberwolves matchup in on a random Wednesday in March. That makes it all the more exciting. For betting tips and advice, be sure to check out written content from our top prognosticator, Money Max, on our website at thepaintedlines.com, or check out the Tough Cover podcast right here on the Painted Lines YouTube channel. You've seen the commercials all over TV and radio, but now is the time. Sign up today with BetRivers using the link below and start cashing in on your love for sports. Using the link below will automatically inform BetRivers that TPL sent you, and you'll get that new user deposit match of up to $250. Don't miss out on this opportunity for some free money, baby.
There you go, guys. 100% match up to $250 on BetRivers. So go check that out ASAP. The link is in our YouTube description. Boys, 0 for 2 Philadelphia night last night. So we know what happened with the Sixers. Let's get into what went down with the Phillies as they lose 2-0, dropping the first game of this 3-game set against Gabe Kapler and the San Francisco Giants. Chase Anderson was on the bump for the Fightins. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. And the reason he only went 4 innings is because the Phillies offense produced nothing again. So with runners on base in the bottom of the 4th, Joe Girardi had a decision to make, and he had to pull Chase Anderson. I think it was the right decision. I thought it was the right decision at the time. I still do, because then you look at what the bullpen was able to accomplish. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs. The pitching, the Chase Anderson and this Phillies bullpen continued to put this team in a position to win a ball game, and that's all you can ask. Only bright spot in the lineup. I'll get that out first because there's one bright spot versus 1,000 negative points to hit on. Bryce Harper stays hot last night, 3 for 4, just putting the ball in play. He's barreling everything, and the one hit he didn't barrel, he put down the third base line. It stayed fair, and it was an easy stand-up single. Obviously stand-up single, but easy single for Bryce. Outside of that, boys, man, I don't even know where to begin. Where do I begin here? Because this is the second shutout of the Phillies through 16 games. Again, you were on with me after the doubleheader while I'm sitting here screaming, everyone wants to blame Hector Neris. How many times are we going to leave runners on base inning after inning, runners in scoring position? Well, here's the thing. Last night, the Phillies go 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They left 11 on base. They had from the first, third, fourth, fifth, and then I want to say like 2 more innings the rest of the game. The Phillies either had first and second, second and third, or first and third with no outs, 1 out multiple times, and 2 outs twice, and didn't produce a single run. They had second and third with no outs. And you know who comes up to the plate, Gint? Mickey Moniak. You know who comes up after that? Maton. You know who comes up after that? The pitcher. Good stuff. That's great stuff right there. And I think that's when Bamboo Brad came in the game. I could be wrong there, but I think that's what that was the case there. Dude, I don't even know what to say with this team. With
it's easy on where to start, in my opinion. Your leadoff hitter can't be your leadoff hitter anymore.
He's terrible.
I think
batting 157 on the year.
A change is warranted at this point, right? Don't you guys agree? I mean, maybe.
Well, he's not in the lineup tonight, and we will get to that game in just a little bit because the lineup change was needed. It's changed. I don't know how well it's been changed with a couple guys off, so we'll get to that in a second. But I agree with you. The other thing I'll say is we went from an historically bad bullpen to an historically bad center field position.
We have two pitchers in the lineup, dude, with the center fielder.
Dude, is it Nick Maton, whatever you want to say? He got a hit before Mickey Moniak did. Guys, we've gone through 3 center fielders to this point. I know Mickey Moniak's only played like 3 games. I don't care. He's not even competitive in the batter's box. I watched him last night go down swinging 3 straight pitches, none of which were in the damn zone. And then he starts cursing and slamming his bat on. Yeah, dude, get your ass back on the bench because you're not even competitive in the damn box. It's unbelievable. And then, hold on. I had this stat here for you guys from John Clark. Phillies have the worst center field in baseball. Duh. They're batting a combined 0.61. They're 3 for 49 on the year. And they're the only team in the MLB without an RBI from center field.
I'm telling you this, truthfully, and this is from the bottom of my heart. We could split up 49 at-bats right here between the 3 of us, and I am brutally convinced we could get 3 hits.
I think I could put one in play, maybe.
I'll get 2 myself, so I just need one of you guys to just get 1.
And then I don't know if this is true, but Clark also adds this. Scott Kingery at alternate site, 1 for 26, 12 Ks. Are we serious? Dude?
Where's the double?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you have that PR nightmare. Like, is that the road we're going down? Like, go out and find some outside help for the center field position because it's unfreaking believable, dude. We went through Hazley. We've gone through Quinn, and now Moniak comes up. Remember how excited we were last week? Finally, the kid had a great spring. What was he, the number 1 overall draft pick a couple years ago? Yeah, he doesn't have a hit, dude. Nick Maton got his first MLB career hit last night, and Mickey Moniak still doesn't have a hit. I really don't even know where to start. And I guess, Mark, I'll throw this to both of you, whoever wants to answer it first. Here's what I'm seeing, and I said this to you before the show, and it's going to sound really like dummied down here, but this is what I'm watching at the plate. But not just with the center field position. I'm watching it with runners in scoring position when it comes to Alec Boehm, who I absolutely love Alec Boehm. With JT Realmuto, I absolutely love JT Realmuto. I'm not coming for them. They're going to get it right. I know those 2 will get it right. The others, not so much. But I'm watching it with everyone in this lineup outside of Bryce the last couple games. They're getting behind in counts early because they're taking fastball over the plate, changeup over the plate. Fastball, whatever you want, it's over the plate, and they're taking the pitch. They get down 0-2, 1-2. Hell, maybe they battle back and make it a full count or get it to 2-2. And then they go and chase outside the zone. Strikeout. I watched JT Realmuto last night. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Gets down 0-2 by taking 2 strikes. Builds it back up to full count. He got frozen with a changeup right over the middle of the plate. I'm sorry. Aren't you taught as a little kid, anything close with 2 strikes, you swing to protect the plate, right? Now, I get that, like, I don't even know how to explain it. How do you get frozen with a ball right down the middle of the plate with 2 strikes?
Bro, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just saw the lineup and I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, it's terrible. That's the Giants, folks.
The lineup today is something. It's like process Sixers like type lineup here. But yeah, continue, Dylan. Sorry.
No, I mean, and I just don't even know what to say at this point, dude. It's mind-boggling. All the issues, everything going on with this Phillies team is ass backwards this season.
Literally.
We came into this year worried about the pitching rotation. We came into this year petrified, hoping, praying that this bullpen was actually revamped and was serviceable. And we had no questions outside of the center field position, which obviously is still a question. But we had no questions about anything else. And this team continues to leave runners on base and runners in scoring position game after game outside of like 4 games of the first 16. 25% of the games this lineup has shown up. The other 75%, they're nowhere to be found. They're not even making hard contact. Kutch grounded out to the third baseman. He grounded out to Evan Longoria 3 times last night on a ball that I could have played on the hot corner. I could have made that play with Kutch's groundouts last night at the hot corner at Citizens Bank Park.
He hasn't looked great in the field either.
No. And you want to talk about the field? You see our center fielder last night?
Oh, my God.
First of all, he made the catch, okay? Got it. Are we joking?
The Citizens Bank Park crowd gave him a standing ovation for that. That should have been a boo. If the Philly fans boo all the goddamn time, that would have been the right time to boo, even after he made the play.
I do have something I do want to discuss at the end of today's show.
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah. You want me to just do it now, and we'll get back to the Phillies in a second? Because I want to discuss this fan base.
I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah. So, hold on, let me clear my throat for this one. Anyone know the Eagles' record last year?
4-12.
4-11-1, right?
All right.
And they're a complete dumpster fire, right?
You did hear the next chant, right?
Stop chanting EAGLES in the middle of a damn Phillies game. And here's my issue with it. It's not even that they're just doing it. I heard it when there were runners on second and third with nobody out. Like when in the 4th inning, whenever it was, there's runners in scoring position and you're chanting EAGLES. Stop. Knock it. This is why this is why Howie Roseman still has a job. This is why Jeffrey Lurie doesn't care that they're a complete and utter failure and a mess, because all these idiots are just going to continue to put money into this organization and not care that they suck and support them no matter what, or whatever they do, because you're at a damn Phillies game in April and you want to chant the organization's name and they're a dumpster fire.
To be fair, they did chant "Fire Howie" like a minute later. So I think that they more than redeemed themselves with a "Fire Howie" chant. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was the most entertaining part of the game yesterday. The fans chanting "Fire Howie." But
dude, I get it.
Also, the Eagles are a dumpster fire. Let's not forget, the Phillies have the longest playoff drought in the National League. We haven't been to the playoffs in 11 years.
But
they're not giving us much more.
I got it, but like you don't hear people at Sixers or Flyers or Eagles game chanting PHILLIES. Go Phillies. Like it doesn't happen because we don't support them. When do you see Citizens? Here's my issue, Mark. Do you see Citizens Bank Park pre-COVID when the Phillies aren't any good?
What? I'm sorry. What?
Do you see Citizens Bank Park pre-COVID when the Phillies aren't any good? It's probably about the capacity it's at now during COVID, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're not good, so people don't support the team. They don't want to pay money to go watch that. How about the Wells Fargo Center during the process? Probably buy tickets for $10.
That's my favorite era of anything ever.
Okay.
Those games were the best, yeah.
Okay. What about Lincoln Financial Field when the Eagles go 4-11-1?
It's full, yeah.
They're going to be sold out with people chanting EAGLES Eagles. I completely got it when like it's a boring game. And last night, the Phillies got shut out, so I get it. But it's not the fact that, when Chase Anderson was coming out to the mound or Jojo Romero was coming out to the mound in the 8th inning, Phillies couldn't hit for shit last night, and it's quiet, so people start chanting Eagles. Runners on second and third early in the game, you have no idea yet that the bats aren't going to be alive tonight, and you're chanting an Eagles chant. I'm losing my mind.
I'm not saying that you should chant Eagles. I just thought Fire Howie was funny.
That was funny. But then they went back to chanting Eagles.
Oh, really? Dan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm on Dylan's side. I also have voiced how utterly disgraced I am by the Eagles organization in the last calendar year.
Oh my God, we're acting like we're rooting. You guys act like we root for the Detroit Lions. Like we won a Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Indianapolis Colts now.
Yeah, we won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. 4 years ago.
Just because
we're a mess. We're a mess, and I'm not defending the Eagles. I want Howie Roseman fired. I told anyone who would listen that Jalen Reagor was the worst pick of the first round last year. I despise the Eagles and a lot of the things they do. But let's not be like, oh, the Phillies, and then like, the Phillies haven't made the playoffs in 11 years.
No. That's not what I'm trying to say. Hold them accountable. And to go off that really quick, Gint, what Mark just said about winning the Super Bowl, that makes it even worse to me. Greatest day of my life was when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Okay?
Yeah, me too.
4 years later, they're a complete and utter disaster. That speaks volumes.
Oh, well, of course.
That's my issue.
But I guess I'm just not as like ready to jump off a bridge as everyone else seems to be, and just kind of be done with the Eagles. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. He's pissed off at the Eagles.
And once it hits training camp, and once it gets September,
I'm not saying you are.
I'm gonna be ready, and I'm gonna blindly follow them into darkness. Okay, but here's the first step in the right direction, because I've done it in the past. I did it last year. I knew when the pick came out that Jalen Reagor wasn't the right pick, but then you try to talk yourself into it as an Eagles fan. The first step in the right direction this year is if Howie Roseman does not make the correct pick, right? Now, we don't know that it's going to turn out the way it has, but if it's at 12 and Devontae Smith is there and it's not him or Jalen Waddle or J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain or one of those picks, right? Mm-hmm. If he goes defensive line or he goes other receiver outside of those two or something else, don't talk yourself into it, because I'm not going to do that either. That's the first step in the right direction.
Yeah, my friends get on me all the time about that, because I refuse to be talked in after I don't like. The reason I do all my, not the main reason, one of the reasons I do all of my draft research is to have, I'm going to put out my big board next week on Twitter, and I'm sure there'll be a podcast or whatever it is. That big board will be out there for everyone to look at. So when the Eagles go make a pick at 12, I can't just react and be like, oh, I love the picker. Oh, I hate the pick. I have a basis of these are how I have the guys ranked. And if they pick him over him, I'll be mad. If they pick him, I'll be happy. And I think everyone should have that kind of thing, just so they can either criticize or compliment their team without sounding like you don't know what you're talking about.
Because here's the issue, right? If you're not high on the guy they draft at that spot, right? Why then would you then turn around after they make the pick and I'm just thinking back, like, oh yeah, then no, it makes sense. Like, what has Howie Roseman's draft capability or this Eagles history in the past decade shown you that they they know better than I do? No, clearly they don't know better than you do or I do, because they haven't had a successful pick outside of Carson Wentz. Okay, they haven't. Yeah. Miles Sanders could be something. Dallas Goedert could be something. We don't know. Okay, still TBD for them. Okay, those are nice picks, right?
Yeah,
they haven't proven a damn thing. The analytics, I know you're an analytical guy to a point, Mark. The analytics department apparently runs draft night for the Eagles. The football guys, the scouts, nothing. It's Howie and the analytics department making the picks. That's why Jalen Reagor is in an Eagles uniform and not Justin Jefferson. That's why J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is in an Eagles uniform and not DK Metcalf.
Yeah,
you think Carson Wentz would not be an Eagle, or you think Jalen Hurts, wouldn't be more high on my mind if we had DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson?
Yeah,
probably helps out a ton, right?
We walked out of the last two drafts.
And by the way, this was a Phillies conversation. You got very off.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah,
we'll reel it back in a second. But go ahead.
We walked out of the last two drafts, which, by the way, of the last 5 years, are the best two wide receivers drafts by far. Even if you want to stretch it to 10 years, it's probably the best wide receiver class of the last 2 years of the best wide receiver class since Odell, Mike Evans, and all those guys like 8-9 years back, whenever that was. So probably less than 8 years ago. But this year, we're going in. We do not have a starting caliber NFL wide receiver on the roster. And I'm going to talk about this later on Party on Broad, I'm sure. With Dives really wants us to take a corner. I know Shane wants us to take a lot of different players. I hate this type of fan. In the draft, especially when we're later in the 20s, I usually have like 5 to 10 guys that I'm fine with getting or that I want. At number 12, especially after trading out of number 6, at number 12, I have 4 guys that are like acceptable to me at this point. Like, I don't even want to really hear about J.C. Horn. I want Patrick Surtain. I want Devonta Smith. I want Jalen Waddle, or I want – it's actually just those three because the other Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase aren't –
they're going to be gone.
So and Penei Sewell too, probably. So it's really just I want one of those three Alabama guys, and I usually hate the people that are like that. But because of how bad we've done recently, Patrick Surtain is the only non-receiver I'm willing to entertain because I think it's a lock that he's a good starting cornerback in the NFL.
And
that's the only reason.
Dude. You can't miss anymore.
No.
You can't. And that's what, like, think about this year and next year. And that's if they don't move to 3 picks and people think, oh, they put themselves in a position to trade for Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson if his name gets cleared with those 3 first rounds. Hold on. If they don't, because I don't think that's going to happen, you can't miss on them, dude. You can't. You've missed for far too long, and it's the reason you're in the position you're in. Dude, think back to the Super Bowl year, right? And I'm about to get back to the Phillies in a second. Think about all those people that contributed to a Super Bowl win, right? Let's just look at the offense strictly. Carson Wentz was a draft pick, right? Nick Foles was an Eagle way back when, and then he was a journeyman. He found his way back, right? Okay. Alshon Jeffrey.
It's almost entirely free agency. It's almost entirely free agency.
Free agent. Torrey Smith, free agent. LeGarrette Blount, free agent. Jay Ajayi, free agent. I get it. Corey Clement, Nelson Aguilar, they played Zach Ertz, obviously. Zach Ertz was before. So I don't know.
Ertz was Chip Kelly's era.
Yeah. Anywho, we will get into
more. Titans.
Yeah, we will get into Eagles later in the week and next week as the draft gets closer, and I'll try to get a little bit more excited about that team because I'm just not there yet. Well, let's look at tonight's matchup, Mark, before we end today's show. We have Zach Wheeler on the bump versus Logan Webb for the San Francisco Giants. Webb has a 4.77 ERA with a 1.76 whip. So he allows almost 2 base runners per inning. Look, guys, going from those numbers, you're going to have runners on base again. How about we knock a few across home plate tonight? How about that?
Yeah, I was going to say he could have a 3 whip per inning. We won't get any runs across, so it doesn't really matter.
Right. So let's look at the lineup changes that Joe Girardi has made tonight because they were needed, but this is just something. Matt Joyce is in the leadoff spot, followed by Gene Segura, who I have to talk about for a second because everyone loves to hate on Jimmy Siggs, and he has the highest batting average on the team so far. Bryce Harper in the 3-hole, JT cleaning up. Bamboo Brad batting 5. Alec Boehm gets knocked down to 6. Mickey Moniak in center field again. Maton gets his 2nd straight start because Didi is still dealing with elbow soreness. And then Zach Wheeler, obviously, in the 9-hole. Kutch gets a night off. As we said earlier, he's struggling leading off. He's batting 157 on the year. Reese gets a scheduled night off. For whatever reason, I don't know why Joe Girardi would give both these guys a night off. I don't know why Reese is getting 3 games off or 2 games off in the first 16 games anyway. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, man, we got lineup changes, Mark. But how are we feeling about those changes?
Not good. The Phillies will not be on my card tonight. For those of you out there, I think we take an L tonight. I think that lineup is just terrible. But, the Giants' offense is not talented. So as long as Wheeler pitches okay, we should have a chance. They got to hit to win. I mean, you have to hit to win, and you have to hit situationally, and you have to hit at the right times.
I mean, we say that, but the Giants didn't hit the win last night, and they still won.
Yeah, that was really one of those losses that it's worrisome. Like when you see a lineup for 9 straight innings that's supposed to be a top 5 lineup in baseball perform like that. We had everyone playing except for Didi yesterday, and I think they missed Didi a lot just because of how consistent he is.
Right.
But
and the bottom of that order is destroyed when he is so depleted down there when he's not in there, and the center field struggling like it is. But it's a lot like the Sixers. Both of these teams, as soon as they're missing anybody, it is so evident because every person that's important on the Phillies and every person that's important on the Sixers brings something specific that the team doesn't have if they're not in. It feels like I agree.
And it's kind of worrisome that we need both of our teams in the city to be at 100% full health at all times in a playoff run. it's worrisome. It definitely is.
So you just said you're probably going with a loss. So here's my prediction for tonight, and I don't have any argument warranted towards this, because I'm a very big believer in you have to. I'm not picking you until you prove me otherwise. Until you prove to me otherwise. I did that with the Eagles when we were making picks throughout this their season, doing it with the Sixers when they were injured and all that. So I don't normally go that route. Just looking at this pitching matchup, Wheeler has struggled his last two outings. Like you said, San Fran's lineup is not any good. I think he bounces back tonight in a big way. Logan Webb has almost a 5 ERA and almost allows 2 base runners per inning. And this is just kind of more hopeful and like, oh, that would be such a Phillies thing to do. When I look at this lineup, I just have a feeling somehow, some way this lineup finds a way to produce tonight. I'm not saying produce 7 or 8 runs, but I think this lineup could produce 4 or 5 runs and win a game, 4-3, 5-2, somewhere along that line. I'm going to come out and say this right now. Mickey Moniak gets his first hit of the season tonight. He gets on board. Matt Joyce produces more in the leadoff spot throughout the course of the game than Andrew McCutchen has this season. And I'm not too worried about the middle of the lineup. Gene Segura, honestly, before we even knew that there were going to be lineup changes, Gene Segura has gotten on base at a high rate. He's batting a .345 this year. I want to move Gene up higher into the lineup, in my opinion. And then you're followed by Bryce, JT, Miller, Boehm. Brad in the 5 holes a little, but I'm confident anyway you slice it in 2 through 6. I think Moniak gets a hit tonight, and I think Joyce can provide more juice than Kutch has this season. So I'm going to say Phillies win. I'm going to say they win 5-3.
I think we lose 3-2. I think if you score 4 runs tonight, you win either side. But so I guess take the under. I didn't even think about that. But I was really critical when I first saw this lineup in terms of having Joyce 1, Miller 5, Matan 8. Maybe this is just me thinking on the fly here. Maybe Joe just didn't want like a bottom half of the lineup of death, kind of.
Yeah.
Where you line up Joyce, Miller, Matan, pitcher. So that could be an interesting decision. Joyce has been fine. I think he's walked a pretty decent amount for how he's played. My point about Reese, I'm as big of a Reese Hoskins guy as you'll find, and I don't think he's been terrible. He's not a catastrophe. He's not Andrew McCutchen, who I think is a legitimate problem for the team. The one thing I'll say about Reese is the best part about Reese is how much he walks and how often he gets on base. He can't be batting second if he's going to be as free swinging as he's been. So I think I would like to see Reese get back to having that eye where he sees so many pitches like he has in the past. I know people complained about that when he was taking too many pitches and wanting him to swing and be aggressive. And I think this is a happy medium. It just feels like he's either going one way or the other. And I think if he's going to be in that 2-hole without any speed, he has to be getting on the base a lot. He has to be getting on base a lot.
I agree with you. So, opposite sides of the spectrum tonight. Mark's going the loss.
I hope I'm wrong.
He hopes he's wrong, but he is the betting man of this show today. So, and he has been pretty hot. He has been, how'd you make out yesterday, Mark?
I went 2-2 yesterday, 2-4 the day before, but before that I was 17-5 in the 4 days before that. So yeah.
So let's hope he has cooled off a little bit. But he is not betting the Phillies tonight. But I'm going Phillies dub. And as for tomorrow, Mark, you are welcome to join if you want. It is going to be a later show, guys. So the Daily Dose will not be on till around 5:30 tomorrow. Spitballing will be on right after the Phillies game with me and Mike Small. Wherever you're watching us now on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube on the Painted Lines Network. And then, go ahead.
When do the Phillies play tomorrow?
105.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. To wrap up the Giants series. For myself, you can give me a follow on Twitter at DylanJD98. You can give Mark a follow on Twitter at MarkHenryJr. _ Is there a Tough Cover podcast today, Mark?
No, so just 3 picks. I already gave out 2 of them. Dodgers -1.5 is live right now. Pelicans money line. That's basically just a homer bet for the Sixers.
Yeah.
And then Angels -1.5 at 940, I think. So we love LA. I'm a big LA guy. Go Dodgers and Angels. But then, yeah, I'll be on Party on Broad tonight at 8:30 with Dive, Shane, and Rob. So we're doing a mock draft where we all take what's 32 divided by 4. We all take 8 teams, and we act as if we're the GM for those teams and draft. I think it'll be fun. So if you want to, we talked some draft a little bit in here. So if you guys enjoyed any of that, come and check out Party on Broad and follow me at Mark Hemi Jr. _ follow at Tough Cover Pod.
Very cool stuff there. A lot less simulated then. It's going to be everyone kind of makes their own pick rather than you get the draw at 12 after the computer makes a decision there. But go check that out tonight live at 9:00, I believe, here on the Painted Lions YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Have a nice night, everyone. And let's hope that the Phillies bats can get going tonight in the W.